What would you do if everything you worked for vanished in an instant? Anna thought she'd hit rock bottom. Homeless, jobless, and utterly alone, she sat on a park bench clutching her eviction notice, wondering if she could ever rebuild. For years, she had poured herself into her startup, working day and night to make her dreams a reality, only to watch it all fall apart. With nowhere else to turn, Anna kept moving forward, holding on to a single piece of hope. A business card she found one fateful night. The words on it read, "It's never too late to start again." Despite countless setbacks and failures, Anna refused to give up. She took on small jobs just to survive and in the evenings honed her vision. Eventually, an investor took a chance on her, and in just a year, her company was thriving. Anna's story is proof that even in the darkest times, your greatest failure might just be the key to your success. What would you do if you lost everything you ever worked for? Anna had always been a dreamer. She grew up in a small town where she was determined to make something of herself. After years of hard work, she earned a spot in college, and eventually, she started her own business. She was full of ambition, convinced that success was just around the corner. But the reality of building a business was far harder than she imagined. The financial pressure mounted, and after years of struggling to make ends meet, it all came crashing down. Her business failed, leaving Anna deeply in debt. Unable to keep up with rent, she lost her apartment. Her friends, who had once supported her, distanced themselves, unsure of how to help. Alone and broken, Anna found herself packing the last of her things into boxes, knowing there was nowhere else to go. The apartment was empty now, a cold reminder of everything she had worked for, and every dream that seemed to slip away. The eviction notice slapped on the door was a final, cruel blow. There was no turning back. Without a job, a home, or any support, Anna ended up on the streets. Her mind was clouded with the thought that she was simply too broken to rebuild. The world had dealt her blow after blow, and each day felt like a reminder that her dreams were nothing more than a fantasy. In those dark moments, Anna couldn't see a way out. But little did she know, the road ahead would force her to confront everything she had feared, and from those painful moments, a new opportunity would arise. Anna had lost everything, but she wasn't done yet. The hardest part of her journey was still to come. What would you do if the only thing standing between you and your dreams was the belief that you had nothing left? Anna had been through the worst. Homeless, jobless, and deeply discouraged, she wandered the streets every night, unsure of what to do next. Everything she had worked for, the late nights, the sacrifices, the hope, had crumbled. Yet somehow she kept going, even when it felt like there was no reason to. One cold, lonely evening, Anna found herself walking through an empty part of the city. The streets were quiet, save for the faint echo of her footsteps. Her mind was consumed with thoughts of failure, but then, out of nowhere, something caught her eye. A small, closed bookstore sat on the corner, its lights dimmed for the night. She hadn't noticed it before, but tonight she was drawn to it. Something about the place seemed to whisper to her, and before she even realized what she was doing, she found herself standing in front of the store's window. Inside, a business card lay on a counter, illuminated by the soft light from the street lamp outside. On the card, in simple, bold letters, were the words, "You've hit rock bottom, but it's never too late to start again." Anna froze. She hadn't expected to find any kind of answer in a deserted bookstore at this hour, but there it was, an unexpected message that seemed to speak directly to her. She picked up the card, turning it over in her hands as a flicker of hope sparked inside her chest. It wasn't much, but it was something. She was skeptical, of course. She didn't have money, she didn't have a home, and she had no network to turn to. But as her fingers traced the edges of the card, she realized that there was still one thing she had left, her ideas. And maybe, just maybe, that was enough. For the next few days, Anna couldn't shake the words from her mind. It's never too late to start again. She couldn't ignore the quiet fire growing inside her, but every step she took toward making her dreams a reality seemed to be met with failure. She had no capital to invest, no reputation to back her, and no place to sleep. Worse still, the few people she confided in, her family and friends, were skeptical. They didn't believe in her anymore. "You've tried this before." Her father told her one evening when she finally gathered the courage to call him. "You've lost everything. It's time to move on. Start over, but not with this dream. It's not going to work." Anna hung up the phone, a wave of discouragement washing over her. She had no one left to support her. She'd lost everything, and even her own family had given up on her. There was no path forward, it seemed. But still, she couldn't help but remember the card. She couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more waiting for her. Weeks went by, and the failures continued. Anna applied to countless jobs, but no one would hire her, and each one chipped away at her confidence. The frustration mounted, and every time she thought about giving up, the card was there in her mind, urging her to keep going. It felt like no one took her seriously anymore, and she was beginning to doubt whether she ever would be able to rebuild. But in the darkest moments, something kept her going. She couldn't explain it, but she felt this unrelenting pull to keep pushing forward. One day, after weeks of failed attempts and growing desperation, Anna received an email. It was from a small investor who had heard about her idea through a mutual contact. He was willing to meet with her. The meeting wasn't guaranteed to be a success, but for the first time in a long time, Anna allowed herself to feel a sliver of hope. The days that followed felt like a blur of uncertainty. She was exhausted, mentally and physically drained, but she didn't give up. She went to the meeting with nothing but her passion, her ideas, and the belief that it wasn't too late to start again. And when the investor finally agreed to back her vision, Anna realized the truth. No matter how many failures she faced, or how much doubt she had, the only thing standing in her way was herself. She had everything she needed to succeed, even if it didn't look like it at first. What if your breakthrough was just one step away, but you couldn't see it yet? Anna refused to give up. She took on small jobs just to survive, working long hours during the day and dedicating every evening to her vision. She was exhausted, but there was a fire inside her that wouldn't die. Months passed and the setbacks kept coming, but Anna kept moving forward. Then one day, she got an email from a potential investor who was interested in her idea. The meeting was a long shot, but to her surprise, the investor believed in her vision and decided to back her. Within a year, Anna's startup was booming. What started from nothing, from nights spent on park benches and endless failures, had grown into one of the fastest-growing companies in her industry. Her journey was a testament to persistence. Her message was simple. You don't have to have everything figured out. You just have to keep moving forward. Anna proved that anything is possible with determination and belief. Sometimes, it takes losing everything to realize what's truly important. Anna's journey taught her that failures aren't the end. They're just the beginning of something greater. It was through her struggles that she discovered her true strength and resilience. If Anna could rebuild her life from the ground up, so can you. It doesn't matter where you start. What matters is taking that first step. What's the one thing you can do today to start your own comeback? Whether it's a small action or a big leap, every step forward counts. You're never as far from success as you think. Remember, setbacks are just setups for comebacks. Share your story in the comments below if you've ever been at rock bottom, and let's inspire each other. Don't forget to subscribe for more daily stories that remind you of your potential and the power of perseverance.